To trader, sometimes you don't keep the information of what happened last week, and you certainly don't understand what's going to happen in the week ahead. Let me explain. I track this every single week and produce the weekly edge. And you can have a look at this now. Have a look for yourself and see what happened last week, what's going to happen this week.
By the close of trading on Friday, August 7th, the market tape displayed massive, conflicting velocity across every major asset class. On Wall Street, the S&P 500 rose 3.6% and the Nasdaq 100 gained over 5%, both clearing fresh record highs in their strongest week since mid-April. In the metals market, spot pricing spiked vertically. Gold surged 7.4% in its best week since January. Simultaneously, the energy sector completely collapsed. WTI crude fell into an absolute freefall, shedding 7.7% over the same 5 days. This aggressive, uniform risk-on rally happened during a week where the U.S. economy actually shed 23,000 jobs, and inflation remained parked well above target. The price action we saw across these assets was not driven by a single, unified economic narrative. It was the result of a fractured collision between two totally distinct catalysts. To understand the current market regime, we must divide the week into two halves. The first half was defined by a sudden geopolitical de-escalation that eliminated supply shock risks in the energy market. The second half was triggered by a severe domestic labor contraction on Friday morning that forced an immediate, dovish repricing of central bank policy. Only by deconstructing how these specific cross-asset correlations interacted can traders accurately model the extreme event risk hitting the tape next Wednesday. The geopolitical trigger occurred on Monday, when President Trump called off planned military strikes against Iran. Diplomatic channels over the Strait of Hormuz remained open, and the threat to global shipping lanes evaporated. This chart shows the 5-day percentage change across major commodities, illustrating the immediate collapse in pricing as the war risk premium drained out of the market. WTI crude collapsed roughly 7.7%, dropping back down to the $78 range. A war risk premium is the extra cost buyers are willing to pay to secure forward energy contracts against potential supply disruptions. When that threat is removed, the market mathematically reprices those contracts back to baseline fundamentals. For the broader economy, this sudden energy deflation functions as an unexpected expansion of corporate margins and an immediate tax cut for consumers. Falling crude pricing in this instance did not signal economic weakness. It acted as a macro tailwind that greenlit a massive equity bid early in the week. With energy risk sidelined, institutional capital rotated immediately back into micro fundamentals, specifically targeting artificial intelligence infrastructure. This global equity scorecard tracks the 5-day percentage change across major indices, demonstrating the sheer scale of the resulting tech-led advance. U.S. indices heavily outperformed, with the Nasdaq 100 gaining 5.1% and the Russell 2000 jumping 3.5% as participation broadened. The specific catalyst for this acceleration came from Palantir, which lifted its full-year guidance and jumped nearly 40% on the week, relighting the entire AI complex. In stark contrast to the U.S. tech dominance, the U.K. market severely lagged. The FTSE 100 carries a heavy concentration of energy majors, absorbing the brunt of crude slide, and lacked the concentrated tech exposure that lifted indices like the German DAX. The record equity closes established by midweek were built on isolated tech dominance subsidized by cheaper oil, rather than a unified global growth story. The focus on micro fundamentals abruptly ended on Friday morning, replaced by a severe, macro-driven momentum trade. July non-farm payrolls revealed the U.S. economy shedding 23,000 jobs, a stark miss against consensus expectations, combined with heavy downward revisions to previous months. This labor contraction arrived at a critical moment for a divided Federal Reserve, which held rates steady in July with 3 explicit dissents in favor of a hike. The DE forced an immediate repricing of yield expectations. Market-implied odds of a September rate hike collapsed from 58% down to roughly 42%, and the 10-year Treasury yield dropped to near 4.60%. This chart, showing the 5-day percentage change across major FX crosses, illustrates the currency market's reaction to those collapsing U.S. yields. The U.S. dollar index slipped to near 99.6, while the Canadian dollar capitalized on the data to become the strongest G10 mover. Precious metals were the loudest expression of this yield collapse. Gold climbed 7.4% to $4,342 as the negative payrolls print dragged expectations lower. Silver surged nearly 10% into the mid-60s, catching a dual tailwind from monetary dovishness and industrial AI demand. The labor market crack altered the Federal Reserve's arithmetic. It turned an equity rally into a massive cross-asset squeeze against the US dollar. Entering the week of August 10th, the market state is defined by a highly stretched, risk-on, weak dollar, strong gold configuration. The critical vulnerability here is that this entire pricing structure relies entirely on the assumption that the Fed will pause in September. Wednesday's US CPI print is the definitive binary node that will either validate or destroy that assumption. A hot inflation print, anything above the 3.6% consensus, would instantly revive the September rate hike debate that Friday's payrolls just cooled. The consequences of a hot print would be a violent, immediate repricing that punishes the currently extended positioning in equities and gold. Conversely, an inline or soft CPI number validates the previous week's moves and extends the weak dollar trend. Wednesday's data is the single point of failure for the market. There is no structural narrative that survives an upside inflation surprise. Chasing immediate strength directly into a binary inflation print offers poor risk to reward for swing traders. The optimal defensive tactic is to hold core positions while aggressively trailing stops behind market structure, rather than leaving them exposed at extremes. It is prudent to trim exposure into any pre-CPI strength, specifically in stretched assets like the Nasdaq 100 and gold, which just logged its best week since January. Treat the post-CPI volatility as an opportunity. Any subsequent shakeout that fails to break the underlying trend structure is the true re-entry point. On the periphery, traders should watch the OPEC and IEA monthly reports for crude oil catalysts, and Tuesday's Reserve Bank of Australia decision for Australian dollar positioning. The macro environment is trapped in a tension between structural labor market cracks and persistent inflation. The true professional does not guess the CPI outcome. They ruthlessly structure their risk around it.
Hope you enjoyed the weekly report. If you want to get a report daily that tells you anything that's going on day by day, what the opportunities might be, then look in the links below. You can get my daily edge and be informed. Get the edge in the market.